We'll settle this shit. We'll settle this shit proper, Philip.
Do it live.
All right. Well, we're live, but see, you got me all thrown off. We didn't even start with a song or anything. Hi, guys. How are you?
Okay, who wants to guess how far it is to Alton, Virginia from
here?
From
no Googling.
We're doing me first.
Okay, you first.
From Linden, Michigan, which is between Ann Arbor and Flint.
To Alton?
With tolls to Alton, yes.
10 hours.
Tom?
And I'm only thinking that because Tom made me think it's farther. I want to say 8. I'll go with 8.
And this is just what Apple Maps says. This isn't like stopping.
I'm gonna go 11.
Well, guess what? The average, you guys are both right. It's 10 and a half hours.
There you go. And how far is it from the other place? But don't say it, please, out loud.
Where you're from?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know where he's from, Jared?
Well, I just did it from where I'm sitting right now. I'm not going to be able to.
Fine, I'll go Google it myself.
I mean, I could go to MapQuest or something.
No, I'll do it.
Don't you dare.
Wait, MapQuest is still a thing? 16 hours, 24 minutes, 1,026 miles.
Yeah, dude.
Close. What'd you say? 19? I said 14.
Yeah.
Leave at 6 a.m. You'll be there by 10 p.m.
Easy drive.
17 hours is not an easy drive.
What's up, Byron?
What's up, Thomas? How you doing? Other Tom?
With Julius to keep you company, dude, it'll be easy.
Yeah. Maybe. What's up, Donald?
Hey, Don.
Wait, you guys have a new album? What's he talking about? Speaking of Julius.
What's up, Julius?
Speaking of Julius Caesar.
What's up, Anthony? You're listening to the new album, Thomas?
No.
He said he was listening as we speak.
Unless he's got like an advance.
Yeah, Juan Carlos in Peru.
Oh shit! Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got
Wisconsin. Jack, are you coming to Taste of Madison in a week and a half?
I'm not sure, Jeremy. I'll have to check it out.
Cynthia, that's cool.
We got a cool guest coming on tonight. So, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, Jon, the original drummer from Staind, is going to join us. So, yay for Jon
Wysocki. Yeah.
He's got a killer new band called Lydia's Castle, who are fucking dope female-fronted rock and roll band.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I started talking to them recently because their manager hit me up about wanting to get on some shows with Taproot. And I was super bummed because I'm like, we literally just locked in all the support for every show we have this year. I was like, dude, if you would have hit me up like a month ago, I totally would have. I'm like, but then we just all started talking through it, and I ended up loving the band, and so.
Yeah, I went through a kind of a YouTube rabbit hole. Looks like they played the Machine Shop maybe 6 months ago. At least that's when
they're actually playing there. They're opening for Puddle of Mud. Well, it's funny. So when they hit up the Machine Shop, and so they're playing with Puddle of Mud there in a couple weeks, and when they hit up the Machine Shop, I guess originally they were trying to get on the Taproot show, but they said they couldn't because the sport was all done, but they put them on the Puddle of Mud show.
Oh.
So, like if I would have known they wanted to get on the Taproot show, I probably could have, but again, we had that so much support like dialed in, like before we even booked those, we knew who they were, so.
Yep.
Thanks, Cynthia. Yeah, so Cynthia, you mentioned that I think you said your daughter took the True Rock Stars book. So I had a coworker asked if it would be a problem giving it to, I think, a 13-year-old. And I had to scan through my mind real quick. I said, no, I think it's all okay. I was like, except for there's a couple stories about young people that were struggling with different things, but they had good outcomes, and they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. I was like, okay.
All right, as far as I know, you're pretty PG rated, Jared.
Yeah, I don't think I put any swear words in there. I think I put the Fred message in there, but I used stars and like Hubert exclamations in there, pound signs and dollar signs and question marks. Cool. Signed Snarehead, Indian art.
And yes, we're doing tour posters, whoever asked that. Lydia's Castle, baby. That's right.
We've got some drum heads for sale at our merch booth at our shows.
They're old as shit, too. They're something that Jared like dug out of storage from like 10 years ago. I think they're like, I didn't even know who signed them. Like, I don't know. They're awesome, though. They were dug out of Jared's storage. Then they ended up somehow in my storage. And then they ended up on the merch table this weekend. God bless. But yeah, no, Jared is like the most PG dude I've ever met. I love it, dude. I love Jared. He's like so wholesome. He's like a remember TGIF on NBC? Like that's Jared, man. Like the other night, someone came up to him and asked him to sign a body part, and you should have seen the look on his face. He was just like,
"No, thank you."
It was a very like it was not a classy request either. It was like kind of super, you want to sign my? He's like, no, thank you. It was quite. It just looked so uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable for her and him.
Oh, I know. I wasn't. I was just, it's like if someone, you teach your kids, like, hey, what you're supposed to say if someone offers them drugs, just say, no, I'm good. That's how I thought of it the same way.
It's funny, Jared. I got to use that same line later, or was it the night before, or was it that first night? Was it the first night or second night?
It was while Pop Evil was playing.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah. So the next night, after our show, someone asked me, and I was able to pull off the no, thank you.
What's up, Jon?
I remember.
Hey, Tom. Yes, of course we wanted to be on the show at Taproot. What is wrong with you, brother?
It's funny because when you told me that, I said, "Why didn't you ask if you could get on the Taproot show?" He's like, "We did." They said no. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I suppose we have the support." Like before we even booked those, we had the support. Like, and it's funny because if John would have hit me up a little earlier, I totally would have. I would have gotten.
Yeah, we could have made that work.
See now it's my fault. Right?
Not you, the other John with an H.
I know, I got you. Yeah. Hi, Jared. Hi,
too.
Phil. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing, John?
Good to see you, man.
It's like 2005 all over again.
I know, right? I love it.
That's right.
Should be more of it.
For sure.
God,
Yes.
2005 was almost 20 years ago now.
Oh my goodness,
Man,
that's crazy.
am I old. You guys feel old? You guys feel kind of old every now and again?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Except for Phil, his Asian genes are aging in reverse.
I know, man. I want to take what you're taking.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
How you been, Jon?
Yeah. I've been good, man. Thank you. Just
Where are you at these days?
Where am I? Nashville.
Okay, nice.
Nashville, yeah. It's funny. I was just watching.
Is that a music town of some sort?
Yeah, a couple musicians floating around here, but I was just watching America's Got Talent, and friends of ours were on it tonight.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And yes, and they were like, it's known as a country town, and this, that, and the other thing. They're like, rock and roll kind of gets lost here in this town, and they were totally right. It's unfortunately, it's not a big rock and roll town, but
right.
there's a few good ones here. So I hope they do well. Those guys.
Cool. What are they called?
Yeah. They're called True Villains.
It's a good name.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Good band. And I wish the best for them. But so what's going on with you guys, man? Everything good? You guys got some new stuff coming?
Yeah, we're back at it. We've had about, I don't know, good 10 years, mostly off. The occasional like reunion show just for fun in the hometown of,
Sure.
usually at the Machine Shop or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 6 years since we've done anything. Our singer worked on a new record, and that's coming out. So yeah, man, we got some
That's
cool
awesome.
stuff coming out.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, timing is right.
Yeah.
We're just kind of doing Weekend Warrior things, and so we've got, it's basically from here until mid-December. I think we got about 20 shows booked, and so we're doing some long weekends here and there, and kind of a cool way to do it. That way you don't, obviously the shows have a tendency to sell a little better on the weekends, and we can just kind of head out and then do our things with our working families and whatever else we do, during the week, and it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
So good.
You guys remember those like 6-week long tours and all that stuff? It's like they just kill you. So the Weekend Warrior thing actually does make a lot of sense.
It does. When we got into this again, like, look, originally this whole thing started because I have a skateboard company, right? And I hit a bill, and they hadn't done anything for it. I'm like, dude, let's do some Taproot skateboards. And then let's do some merch because I have a merch company. So let's do a merch store. And then, there was this B-sides record they had. Like, let's do something with that. And then he's like, Steve has a whole new studio record he's been working on for 10 years. I'm like, really? And he sent it to me, and it blew my mind. And we're like, all right, let's put this out. And then it was like, they had Blue Ridge, we're doing Blue Ridge in a couple of weeks. And then,
awesome.
We're like, why don't we do a CD release show for the album at the Machine Shop? Okay. That one sold out in like 20 minutes. Then we added the second one. That one sold out in 20 minutes. Then we're like, well, maybe we should do some more. And it turned to like no shows, turned into 2 shows, turned into 25 shows. Like, it's a per weekend, but it really does, man, for us. I mean, it just, the weekend war, it just makes so much more sense. We got
Yeah,
offered a
it
really
does.
good amphitheater major tour that's out this year, and we just didn't even want to do it. Like, we don't want to be in a bus playing every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. You know, it's just
I
not
know.
for
But
us.
it's weird though, because like we do these. So like this just past weekend, we had our third show. Right, we did 2 shows a couple weekends before that. We did our third show, and like we play the show, we're packing up. I'm like, holy crap, we're leaving tomorrow. Like, we got together for one show. I'm like at the hotel, you know, I'll be planning on waking up early and leaving. I'm like, I'm not even gonna see you guys. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that tour vibe. You get to like meet, you know, kind of have time.
You get your tour vibe, and then
yeah.
it's gone right away. You're like, shit, you know. That's the bummer.
All that bonding time, the waiting, all that stuff that happens, you know, night after night is not there though too. You know what I mean? But
No, it's not.
It's a trade off. You know, I'd rather be home, but it's a trade off. I kind of miss that part.
I miss the summer camp part. That's what that, you know, people ask you, you know, all the time, what's it like being out on tour? I'm like, well, it depends. You go on a 6-week tour, it's like summer camp, right? You get to know all the other bands, you hang out together, and you know, and then you come home and you have to decompress, and like, you guys know all about it. So, but it's you know, you kind of miss those days, of course. But
what do you do to decompress? Like, what's your thing?
Act nothing.
Yeah,
really.
just do nothing, right?
Yeah. Like nothing. I don't even want to pick up a pair of drumsticks.
Right.
Like, you know, yeah, just get back to life, I guess, a little bit, as much as I can until it was time to go back out, you know, and then next thing you know, you're doing your laundry and you're out the door. So.
Now, how much do you practice before you go back out?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with Staind, we used to practice like weeks before we go out every day. And first couple of shows, we would suck so bad. like, man, all this.
It's not the same. Live is not the same as at home, man. It is not.
No,
the same.
I know, totally. And yeah, so you know, eventually you get it together after a while. But yeah, so
we rehearsed once.
Yeah,
well, we used to rehearse a lot more. Like you said at the beginning, you're like you got the time. You know, this is all you're doing. You don't have the kids yet or whatever. I mean, whatever your situation is, and you just have time to practice more, and you just make the time, and it's easy. Yes. Nowadays, like we're checking each other's calendars, and like it was probably about 6 weeks ago, or probably about 8-9 weeks ago now, and me, Jared, and Taylor are texting each other like, "What days do you have open? What weekend?" And we had literally one weekend in which we could all get together and get something going. And we're like, I guess that's it. And it was like 2 weeks before the first show.
Yep. So, cram time. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, it was a bummer because we got offered like a huge. So a band dropped off a huge festival like a week before that, and they offered us the headlining spot on the second stage.
Yeah, pretty big for us.
Not a great offer. It would have been amazing,
awesome.
But we hadn't even rehearsed yet, so we had to turn it down. We're like, fuck.
Yeah.
So
turn
it down, but we're like, we can't have our first show back. There's just too many variables, you know. Like I knew they would have killed it. Like they were all practicing at home, and they all know these songs for the most part, but. It's just you can't leave that kind of shit up to chance, man. We have so much riding on this reunion and this record and all this stuff. Like,
and it is different from going from rehearsal to being on the stage too.
Yeah,
like just getting that vibe and that separation. Like, you know, bass player's way over here, drummers in the back, obviously, guitar over here, vocal. Yeah, so yeah.
Well, also for us, it being a festival, like we got to do a headline show for like it's just a small club.
Yeah,
you know, we had to work out the kinks of Jared's, tracks, a couple of tracks that we have.
Yeah,
you know, just all the little kinks.
Some of the new songs that never been played. Jared's coming back into the band. Jared's been out of the band for 15 years, coming back into the band. We have a new guitar player who we just, you know, so there was definitely some. It was great to have that first small club show, kind of warm up show to knock the cobwebs off. You know, and then the second show is like a big outdoor festival thing, you know, so it's like trial by fire for sure.
Yeah. So John, I can't remember. Do you use in-ear monitors, or were you always kind of wedges, or either is it different now or back then, or what have you done and what do you do now?
Yeah, well, in-ears. I use in-ears, because we're running some tracks too. We don't. It's not loaded with tracks, but like the ones that we do have. Plus, we play on a click too, so. I've always run ears since they first started out, you know.
Yeah.
Really.
As long as I've known you, you wore in-ears like years ago.
Yeah, my hearing was just so shot. And it's still shot, but you know, I need to have everything inside. Is
it fairly second nature to you at this point then, to like just kind of be able to hear the track and it doesn't like it's pretty I guess like I said, second nature where you're not concentrating too much?
Yeah, you don't have to like focus too much on it, and that's just rehearsal. You know, you guys know. I mean, you got to rehearse with those tracks, or if it's a click, whatever. I'll say some songs, yes, and then others I'm still trying to get comfortable with that whole, you know, where you don't have to focus so hard on it, you know.
Yeah, I've told Phil, I said for me, and as a drummer, because I also do some backup vocals. So to me, obviously, you've got your independent limb. So backup vocals always feels like I'm adding a limb, at least in my brain, and then listening to the tracks feels like I'm adding another limb. So when I'm playing and I'm listening to tracks and I'm singing, I just don't feel this as I'm having zero fun playing those songs.
Yeah. He's not kidding. I don't have the singing part to deal with, but I can't imagine doing it, man. God bless you. Yeah, it's tough. It's hard enough just the drum parts. So
I mean, you know, Jared kills it though, man. Like Jared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because our singers had sent the tracks to us so we could hear them, and I never do tracks, right? So I put the tracks in, and it was just I'm like, this sucks. Like
do they throw you off?
No, it wasn't too bad. I could keep my head. I'm pretty good with keeping the song in my head.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just these weird sounds because we don't have a lot on our tracks. It's basically like these weird sounds every once in a while. I don't know what other people have. Yeah. But it's like basically a click, tick, 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 and then every once in a while, this weird thing happens. You know,
with the 808 in there.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
And that's the only thing to tell you that you're at the right spot, right? Like
that's true. Yes, I know. Yeah.
And then there's a couple spots, you know, with some odd time things that'll happen where, you know, there will be 4 beats in a measure. So you've got the accented click, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's a 2-beat transition. So then it's off where the downbeat is kind of in the middle of the measure for, you know, a period of time. And then fortunately in the one song I'm thinking of, it switches back after 2 beats. So then it gets back on the click. So Phil was saying like, oh, that sounds like a disaster.
It does.
Especially in these new songs, there's so many weird time changes. And like, I mean, so, did you use your New Year's Saturday?
I did.
How was it? I couldn't tell. I was looking. I thought they're so low profile. I couldn't even tell, but I assumed you were.
Yeah. So what are you running?
Yeah, John, I just got the new 6.4 audio, and they're, you know, the molds and everything. And they're really particular about sending pictures of the molds and they, you know, the first version, they had a couple cracks when I went to the audiologist. So they made me go back and get new ones. And so it took a couple iterations just to be able to get the molds right. But now I got them and they're just beautiful and they fit nice. And I got the kind of see-through ones so you can see all the gears in there. But yeah, they're just gorgeous and I really like them a lot.
Yeah, they're a great company.
Awesome.
I hooked up with them a few years ago and, you know, they were like, hey, we want in here. So I'm like, hey, I know the guys. So we hooked up with 64 audio and thank you. Yeah, Taylor just got his. Phil, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Phil's going to get
what,
his.
What do you use, John? What do you run?
Ultimate.
Yeah,
Ultimate. Yeah. I've been using those forever. I've tried a couple different brands, but I keep going back to the Ultimate ears and the UE11s. It's, you know, it's just a quad driver system. And as long as I can separate the instruments and the sounds, I'm pretty good. Mine sound fantastic too. I mean,
so do you like to have everything in your ears, almost like the CD, or you want everything that you can hear?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
That's what I like.
Yep, I like to hear it like as if you're listening to the actual song.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of time in our sound check, and again, this is the first time I did it. But I found like, oh, okay, I need to make sure that I can hear the click the best, and so I ended up having, you know, the monitor guy kind of turn everything else down, so that was really prominent. But then, and Phil, I don't even think we talked about this yet. There's a couple times when I realized that the bass and the guitar, and I also needed the vocals to back up, but I had to watch Phil's fingers on a part and Taylor's fingers to know where I was at because I couldn't hear the guitar and bass well enough. And I was
no way.
No kidding.
So I got to get them dialed in a little bit still.
Which ones did you get? Did you get the 9 drivers or did you get the 6?
6. Yeah.
You got the A6Ts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, do they have like 9 driver, 12 driver, 8?
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah, it does. It gets crazy. I have a pair of they're called Perfect Seal. and they have, it's like 10 or 12 drivers. I'm like, it's just too much, man.
Overkill.
It kind of is, So that's why I like the Ultimate Ears setup. It's just 4 drivers, and they're able to squeeze all those frequencies in there. So it's it works good for me.
And do you get it? I was going to ask you this too. Do you get any? So I noticed too, like my kick sound was super raw to the point where I don't know. I almost feel like maybe I need to get some kind of effect on it or whatever. I mean, does your kick sound good in your ears? It was just really raw, kind of dull.
It's not raw. Actually, it's I don't like effects on it. I just like the initial sound to have that punch. Yep. And it's got to stand out. Kick, snare, hat, they always need to stand out.
Yep.
And with the other instrumentation that's going on, and then you tag a click track on top of that. So trying to fit all that in there, can be tough. But it's just sitting there and just listening to your ears and making adjustments as you go. And
do you guys have your own mixer, or do you guys just mix with the house board?
No, we do. We have I'm big on sound guys being like the 5th member of the band. And we do have one. So now, and we did also as well back with Staind.
Yeah.
And
so you don't necessarily have your own mixing board where you're making adjustments yourself, but your sound guys come to know what you're looking for, and then you can tweak it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I do have like probably the same thing you have. You have your iPad set up or whatever. So you have the board right there. If on the fly you need to bring something up, it's right there. But trying to get in that ballpark to start is always, the best thing to do, really.
Right.
Yeah. So I got to listen to some of the Lydia's Castle stuff, and I really like your drumming, as I always have. And how do you find, how would you characterize the drumming? I mean, in the few songs that I've had a chance to listen to it, it seems like it's, I'd say especially it felt to me like maybe some of those, and I remember I told you when we did, that tour together that I really liked. I mean, I think that first Staind album, of course, Terry Date, sound is kind of, I mean, the drums that for me doesn't get much better than that.
He's the man.
But the drums still sound like you, and they always do. But I really like that. Sounds like a lot of these songs are a little more just kind of straightforward, fun, like rock songs to play. And so how would you characterize it that way in any way?
Yeah, I actually would. They are fun to play. There's some of them that, I got to focus a little bit more in on. But yeah, I mean, a lot of that drumming is pretty much similar to Staind without like all the little bells and whistles and splash cymbals and stuff. Cause I know, Jared, you like to all that same kind of thing too.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't use as much of it in this. A lot of times I use a lot of times with the Lydia's Castle stuff. But it is fun to play, and that's what I wanted to do with this stuff is make it fun to play, not a chore,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's cool. And where was I think I saw a live show from Machine Shop, and that's like 20 minutes from my house. So
awesome. Yeah.
So when exactly was that? When did you guys do that show? Was that earlier this year?
It was actually last year. It was with Saving Abel.
Oh, cool.
And, okay. So we went up there with those guys and did that, and we're excited to actually go back. With Puddle Mud and see how that goes as well. I mean, that's a great venue. It's been there forever. The place just rocks. It's just a rock venue, man. It's fantastic. I love it.
All the people are nice, and they really kind of go out of their way to make sure, even like local openers, they really go out of their way to make sure that everyone has a great time and the sound's good. And
that is true. Very true. And that's a big thing too, I mean,
when is that show?
Yeah. Oh man, you're going to call me a date. It's the 11th of November. November 11th.
I think Taylor, our guitarist, has another band right now called Riding with Killers, and I'm pretty sure he's on that show too, man.
Oh, that'd be
right.
I'm pretty positive because he asked me about that date. I'm pretty positive he's on that show with you guys. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's the second because I know Apollo Mud's playing there 2 nights, and I think we're playing the second of the 2. So
well then I can't say which one's which.
Yeah, I was just saying, but I was muted apparently. But yeah, no, there's 2 nights. And I think
I saw that.
Nights sold out.
Nice. That's good. Cool. Good for them.
Well, I just realized like this whole time of fucking around. So obviously I take. Was that okay? There you go. Yeah, no, obviously I'd take my computer with me when we travel, so I had it with me this weekend. I brought it home, and we started. I realized I didn't have my webcam or my mic hooked up, so it was just like using the default shitty webcam and mic on my computer. So I'm sitting here like trying to hook all my shit up while we're talking.
Yeah.
So,
oh, I got you.
That's happened to me before.
It happened, but now we're all dialed in. What are your? I don't have any, man. I don't have any new bands that I like.
Here.
Like,
I'll be right back, guys.
All right. So somebody asked this before. You guys can answer this. Somebody asked who are the drummers. Here you go. Who is the drummer that? Come on. This thing is just not cooperating today. Hang on. Who? Here we go. Who do you both think is the drummer that inspired you to play?
Oh man, you go first, Jared.
Okay, so mine's pretty easy. So I was when I first got into music, I was listening to Top 40 as a child of the '80s. So you know, I was really big on Huey Lewis and Billy Joel and NXS, and then kind of Guns N' Roses came out, and that was kind of my first intro into hard rock. And then a friend of mine told me about this band Metallica that had a new record that I should check out. It happened to be Injustice for All. And I put the headphones in, and within a minute of listening to Blackened, I was just blown away by the drums and just how fast they were. And I played piano, so I kind of understood music. And I just for some reason the drums hit me, and I just thought I want to learn how to do that. So my friend had a drum set, so I would say Metallica, Lars kind of inspired me to want to play, and then I'd say from then on. I got into, of course, Neil Peart and Carter Beauford's one of my favorite drummers, and John Bonham, and all the guys. So
yeah. I finishing with the John Bonham thing. He's probably the one for me. If I had to pick one, and it sucks because you always get kind of pick one drummer. I can't really pick one. There's so many great ones. But, Bonham, Stuart Copeland was a big influence on me, too. I was a huge Police fan, even in their earlier days. And, Neil Peart, of course. Now Danny Carey. I mean, I can't play like that, but Danny Carey.
Same here.
Yeah. I like a lot of those groove drummers too. Jeff Porcaro from Toto was a fan. I was a big fan of too.
You're here.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to pick one. That so is. Because you try to take all the elements of what you like out of all these great drummers, and that's why it's so hard to pick one. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian mentioned Keith Moon. Yeah, I didn't get into the Who when I was younger, but I've since kind of watched some videos, and I think that he's a pretty good example of where just his personality and character really came out on the drums, because it was kind of a goofball and kind of a spaz, right? And so,
a little loose at times too.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Another thing I find interesting about Bonham is there's really not a whole lot of. I think I found 1 or 2 interviews with him, and so you never really got a sense of where he was coming from in his headspace with his drumming, but yet he laid down all these super innovative things, right? And he's kind of obviously kind of an enigma now because we don't have that much information from how he approached the drums, right? From his perspective.
No, we don't, but so many people still kind of are, whether they want to think it or not, but they're influenced by him in some way or another. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then did I hear I feel like I heard some double kick stuff on Lydia's Castle. Are you doing more of that?
Yeah, I would say more probably on the stuff that we haven't recorded yet.
Okay.
But there's a couple things in there, and the stuff you probably heard, and even some of the stuff that we do have recorded, just we haven't released. But yeah, I mean, I try to pick spots where to do that. I don't overplay that stuff because I'm not that good at it. So
I would call them flourishes, right? It's more like well-placed kind of flourishes that serve the song, not like jigga, 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 you know, like
exactly. And if it calls for that, great. But you know, I'm not gonna try to throw that in there just to throw it in there. I'm you know, like I said, I'm not the best double bass player. So
and so you mentioned some new music. So what's next? When are we going to be able to hear some of that?
Well, me and Tom got to get on the horn about that stuff.
All right.
Yeah, but we'd like to get something done as soon as possible, man. That's, you know, how you keep going as a new band, you know. Just keep writing and writing and writing, you know.
Now, who are the other members of the band? Have there been anything else, or is that just people from where you're from? Or
yeah, well, everyone I met in Nashville. So yeah, Cody, my guitar player, Corey, my bass player, and Tanya, my singer. So we have a female fronted band. Yep. So it's everyone's good, man. They're all good players, and I enjoy playing with them. I enjoy creating music with them. And awesome. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I've tried to put some other things together in this town, and it's just they've fallen apart, or it's just no one takes it serious, or you know, whatever the case might be.
Right.
So,
and you find like the dynamics are. And somebody mentioned Jimmy Chamberlain and Mike Portnoy.
Yeah, I see that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
good. Awesome. Yeah.
And so do you find that it's a really collaborative process? Because it sounds like that's probably what you're getting at, where, I mean, you know, hey, we've been doing this for a while, right? You want to have fun when you're writing. You don't want it to be a chore. You want everyone to have an equal say, right? And
yeah, it has to be like that. It has to be like that for me right now, just because I really didn't want to get involved with something where, you know, if one guy was going to be the writer and that was it, and I was a hired gun, that's another thing. I wasn't really looking for that. I like to kind of play what I'm feeling for the music. So it's funny, we were just talking last week. We learned a couple covers and stuff like that just to have, like, in case we need them. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, man, I used to be really good at learning covers. I suck at it now, man. I cannot. I don't know. So
because you're probably because you've had your creative hat for so long and you've always been kind of writing parts, and is that what you think it is?
Some of it, yeah. I think some of it. When I first moved to Nashville, I mean, I was, you know, playing with some cover bands too, and so, you know, I mean, I just learned what I had to learn, and just to keep playing, you know, because that's what I love to do. I love to play. So
there's so many different muscles to work with music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's guys that improv. There's guys that play covers. There's people that just play, you know, read music, and, you know what I mean? They just write. They can't, you know what I mean? Like, it's so many different ways to incorporate what we call music, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Here, why don't we check out a song? I got some loaded up.
All right.
So check out some Lydia's Castle. Wait for it.
You can hear where the tracks are right here.
A real guitar solo with cool harmonies and everything.
Yeah. Tanya, no cheating. There's a guitar solo.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, dope.
Hell yeah.
I saw my singer chiming in there, and I just want to tell her, Tanya, no cheating.
Yeah.
Can't like your
dude. Dude, that was awesome, man. She sounds great. Tanya, you sound great.
Yes.
Where is she?
Awesome.
Why isn't she in here with us? Come on.
I don't know. She's way better looking than me. I can tell you.
That. Next week.
She's way better looking than all of us, except for maybe Phil.
Not to be sexist, but I love a good female singer.
Yeah.
I could just so
great.
good.
Yeah, the first time I heard it, I was like, "Holy shit, this is real!" And again, I love Jon. I love Jon playing. Like the musicianship's so solid. She's such a great singer. I mean, I was pretty fucking. It's hard to impress me, man. People send me shit all the time, and it's usually generally pretty unimpressive. And I was like,
right.
It was cool too. Once it got to the bridge and beyond, like it didn't follow the structure that you expected. It took a couple twists and turns there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was cool. I didn't see that coming. That's really, I love that.
Yeah, and thank you to everyone for the nice, kind words.
Yeah, man.
That's what we do.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we give everybody a new Taproot song too while we're at it?
Yes.
Who wants to hear a new Taproot song? I don't know if we play this one. Hang on. Start it over. The internet's not cooperating.
You
Love it, man.
Thanks.
It's like good Taproot. Thank you.
That's awesome, man.
Way better than that crappy Taproot. It's like good Taproot.
Right? Better than that crap root.
That was fantastic.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
aggressive, but still Taproot. It's
right.
Like, yeah.
That's kind of the key to this record. It's funny, like the single is like the poppiest thing Taproot's ever done, but then half the record is like the most mind-blowingly heavy shit they've ever done, but it's still so fucking Taproot. It's weird.
It is, yeah.
It all works, man. It's so, yeah.
You guys don't want to lose that identity anyway.
Hell no.
That's,
I think we found it.
You guys are always an awesome band.
I think me and Steve actually played a little bit of that one night when he was on. We teased a little bit of it, but hey, I think, yeah. I don't know what the tuning is. Phil, what's the tuning on that new shit? C? Drop C?
I think probably drop C, or is that A?
That one might be A.
Yeah. I think that's when Steve actually didn't tune properly, so it's actually a half a step lower than A. I think.
That's like
it's heavy, man.
Or not half a step, like a quarter of a step, like half a step. Yeah, it's a quarter of a step low.
Have you heard any of the new shit, John? Here, let me fuck. Let's play one more. Fuck it. I
don't think play one more.
Gonna complain. Let's listen to some.
Someone just put tuning ? Awesome. That drumming is killer, man.
Yeah, I can't actually take credit for it because Steve, our singer, played every instrument on it. He did it all himself, but it is fun to play.
You got to do it.
Yeah, we did that live. We actually pulled that out live this weekend. Well, technically, you guys played it live at the Machine Shop like 6 years ago, but the new album version as it is, you played it live for the first time this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Awesome. Good stuff.
That's a lot of heart. A lot of heart.
It's heavy melodic. It's still got that the melodic part of what Taproot is, and it's just freaking balls too.
Holy shit! Man. Look, it's BC from Head PE in the.
Oh, what's up, BC?
Now it's a party.
Now it's a party.
Oh man! So yeah, dude, it's so great that we'll figure out something. We'll get some. Taproot Lydia's Castle shows going next year for sure.
That would be awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. We'd love to do some shows with you guys.
We'd love to be out with you guys. So
cool.
Anytime works.
Hey, well, you're weekend warriors too. We can make that happen.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah, and I think so. This year we're kind of doing the Midwest. Everything's kind of Midwest, East Coast. Next year we're going to try and do some West Coast dates. We're going to try and do the South, which I think I mentioned to you. We could maybe try and do some shit together down there. We're going to try and do like
Florida. We should hit Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hit Florida, especially in the winter.
Yeah, right?
We got to hit Florida in the winter.
Well, see, that's
all the warm states.
I know. January, February. I'd love to be. I was just thinking the other day, like, fuck, we're going to be turning the Midwest into December. Like, whose bright idea is that?
Yeah. It's better than doing Canada in the middle of the winter.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. So when you guys toured together, right? Taproot toured with Staind.
Yeah,
right?
we did. Yeah, we did.
When
a
was
nice
that?
little run.
2005?
2005 Fall Brawl Tour.
Yeah, that's what it was. Fall.
With POD. POD and Flyleaf also on there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's a good fucking package, man.
Yeah. Back in the day, you could do those.
Right?
We need to bring them back.
That's right.
Do you remember that fucking one of the first shows I ever saw Staind? And I think it was one of your first shows outside of like home.
Yeah.
You guys played at this church. You remember that church in Santa Barbara? It was the weirdest.
Oh, yeah.
There was like 5 people there, and it was in like a church, like a converted church in Santa Barbara. And it was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
That was the guitar player from Low Pro. That was his fault.
Oh, was it?
Fault. Yes.
That Neil? Was that Neil?
No.
No, Neil was the singer.
Neil was the singer. Yeah.
Neil was the singer.
The guy with the blonde hair. But anyway, I know. I wish I could remember those guys' name, but
I fucking loved Ultra Space.
It was his hometown, and we were like, all right, we'll do it, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was kind of weird.
Well, and then a couple days later, you guys opened for Kid Rock at the Roxy. I remember that too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tom, you mentioned Ultra Spank. Did that have something to do with Low Pro? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Low Pro is the guy from Ultra Spank.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, Low Pro was basically like half of Ultra Spank.
You're right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
First time I saw Incubus in like I think it was 97 or 8, Ultra Spank and
Far
opened. Yep.
Oh wow, busting out some oldies.
At the shelter
That's
in Detroit, man.
Were we there together, Phil?
I'm pretty positive we were both there.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, dude, that show was awesome. Back when Brandon still had the dreads and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, Incubus was so great back then. Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
They just
Gavin
played
was still in the band and fucking.
Oh, did they?
Who was?
Gavin, the original DJ, and Dirk, the original bass player.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, Dirk. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
such a great player, man. Such a great player, man. Oh my God, such a great player.
Yep.
You didn't happen to go to the show, did you, John? Did you happen to go to the show?
Which one?
You played in Nashville. You said they just played in Nashville.
Oh no, we were out this weekend. So actually, I know 3 Doors Down was here and Incubus. So
do you still go out to local? Do you still go out and see bands play?
Every now and again, yeah. I mean, if I'm here, I
is it usually because you're friends with them? Because that's the only reason why I go see shows.
Well, that's the only reson I go out. I've never oh my God, I want to see this band. Like, my friends are playing. I will go see them.
But you do so many tours with these bands. It's like you see them almost every night.
Yeah.
So But no, it's still good to see them, and they still sound fantastic. Science, I saw that. That's their first.
Right.
Or
Incubus.
Yeah.
Somebody said they saw Staind with Seven Dust and Skunk and Antsy. I don't think I remember that.
Oh yes, that was yeah.
That was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, we toured a lot with Seven Dust. I think everyone's toured a lot with Seven.
Yeah,
those guys tour, man.
They do, man. They're still hitting it hard.
I don't think anybody's ever toured harder than Seven Dust, man.
Yeah.
Really.
They win for sure.
I saw them on their first fucking tour opening for the Nixons. Their first tour was opening for the fucking Nixons. And there was like, when Seven Dust played there was like 10 fucking people there. And there was like 30 people there when the Nixons played. It's not like it was. Yeah, that was crazy.
Those guys are still hitting it hard, still pumping out records, and good for them.
I know. Yeah. I love those guys, man.
Yeah, great guys.
So what's next on your agenda, John? So we're going to make a record and go play some more shows?
Make a record, play some shows. Yep. I'd like to get some bands to go out and tour with, and like to be support for right now. I mean, that's the best way to kind of gather up a group of people to, I mean, we're not a headlining band yet. Yeah. So, I mean, we're better off just going out and trying to steal Taproot's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you will. You guys are great. I mean, I think any crowd you guys get in front of is going to go, fuck, they're awesome, Yep.
Yeah. These guys know what I'm talking about. But, just going out and trying to get some people who wouldn't normally listen to the band to listen to them. And
yeah, man, that's why we do this, right?
That's why we do it. Yep, exactly. So,
I mean, hey, Taproot, like the first 5 years of your career, were supporting people, man. Like you guys were like the pro support band for everyone.
Well, we were in there too. I mean, we were support for a long time. We really didn't want to be a headlining band at first. We just wanted to keep opening for bands.
Well,
it's nice though, man. It's nice to just play for other people's crowds, right? Like you don't have the pressure, but you can just go out there and
just do your thing,
to win it. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
You guys made that jump really quick though. Like I remember Stain's trajectory. Like you guys were opening. Dysfunction was out. It was like big-ish, but like underground big. And then that song
Outside, and it's been
outside. I still remember the first time I heard it on fucking K-Rock, that fucking goofy acoustic. Yeah, let me see your lighters.
I know.
From Family Values.
The Fred Durst version.
Yeah,
but it's so good at the the same time, man. I mean,
it's great. Well,
those little lines are unnecessary, but that song was so good.
That's a good way to put it. Unnecessary.
I have the story. I've never officially told it in a Staind-related forum. Like I've talked about it in interviews a couple times, maybe. So the day before the mud shovel video, so I was with you guys. I rode with Staind down. They shot it like San Bernardino.
No, we shot it at Fontana.
Is that where it was? It was
Fontana.
I don't. Well, you remember more than me. But I was hanging out with Aaron the day before, and we were staying at the Days Inn in Hollywood, and I don't know why I remember this. Aaron had his acoustic, and he pulled it out and started playing. And I'd never really heard him play acoustic guitar, And at the time, that was like the new metal era. Dude didn't really do that,
Yeah.
And I loved Excess Baggage on the record, like the hidden track, and he pulled it out and he started playing "Going to California" by Zeppelin. And I'm like, holy fuck, I didn't know you could do that. And then he started playing me the song. And it was a super dope acoustic song. He's like, oh, yeah, this is this new song I just wrote. I'm like, dude, if Staind does that, you guys will be the biggest fucking band in the world. A couple months later, I hear it on K-Rock with Fred Durst going, yeah. I'm like, holy shit, that's that song Aaron just played me part of in their hotel room. And then it was like the biggest song in the fucking world.
Because that got big. Was that before the album came out?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on Family Values. There was a live version that was on the Family Values.
So that was the live version, but that wrote us into Break the Cycle, which ended up the studio version ended up being on Break the Cycle, which that was our real big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the whole thing just lined up so perfectly. With that version being the acoustic version that was played on the radio into I think we let out with a different single, but it was on the record.
Yeah.
Well,
I think It's Been a While was actually the first single off the record. I think Outside was already so that acoustic version was just so big they didn't even bother with it. They're like, all right, well this one's already was already so fucking big from that Family Values version, which was just crazy though. It was out of nowhere. It was like one day it was nothing, then like a week later it was like the #1 rock song in the world, basically.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And then you were a headliner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, then we had to headline.
Now, had you guys recorded that before it came out, like the acoustic version, or no? Right? So that me and Aaron actually played in a band together with 2 other guys, and we had played it in that band, recorded it with that band. Oh,
and then it became a Staind song. The producer who did Break the Cycle heard that song, and he's like, did you write that song? So Mike put a different guitar thing over the top of it, and put some drum tracks on there and some bass, and it was, took on a whole nother life.
What a great fucking song, man. And that was the beginning of that. Biloxi!
Biloxi, this is the real motherfucking deal. Yeah. So those are the days.
So Jon, you said we had to start headlining. I mean, was it that, did you feel like that went too big too fast to some degree?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you want to slow it down a little bit, but then you don't want to disrupt the freight train either. So,
yeah, right.
It's one of those things, you got to ride it while you can, ride the wave while you can, and
none of it lasts forever. I mean, for generally, right? No band just stays at the top.
Yeah, it's tough too.
It ebbs and flows, man.
Yeah, it's tough to stay up there. It's so. Yeah.
Well, let's see if we got any more. Let's see if we got any more closing comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Peanut Gallery. It's always a peanut gallery.
Right? Yeah, dude. The full band version was fucking dope. I mean, it really was. You guys were really the first band that brought that kind of Alice in Chainsy fucking thing back.
Well, Alice in Chains did it. Yeah. Alice in Chains.
Never heard of it,
man. One of my favorites.
Oh, how can you not love them?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're the best. I mean,
I think you guys both had a little bit of influence from Alice in Chains.
Oh, we had a lot of influence from Alice in Chains.
So did we.
So did Taproot. I mean, Toby produced 2 records for them, and what I mean, like, and I mean, dude, that's the reason I met Toby. So I managed Switched, and we did a deal with Virgin, and I hired Toby to mix the record because I was such a nerdy Alice in Chains fan. I'm like, I just wanted to hang out with Toby Wright, so I hired him to mix my band's record. You know, and that's how I met him. So I think we all had a little too much Alice in Chains in our blood.
It's not a bad thing.
Never enough.
I didn't realize until I went back and listened to some of those older records, like how great the drums sounded on those songs. Like Man in the Box, if you go back and listen to that snare sound, snare rings for like forever, but in a great way. I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard a snare that fills up a room like the snare on that record.
That it's all the production on that's so good.
Yeah. So great.
Fucking Dave Jordan, man. There's something about the way that guy made records. And I've interviewed him, and it's funny, we talked about it, and he told me how, like, especially Dirt, like how fucked up they all were when they made Dirt, and like just how it was like he's shocked that they even got the record made. You know what I mean? Like, I guess Dave was on heroin. He told me straight out, he's like, we were all on junk making that record. We were all just barely functional. It's
you kind of hear it towards like the end of that CD, or towards the end of how they kind of place the songs on the CD. I should say.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that Jerry started singing a lot more too, right? I mean.
Yeah.
Hey, I got one more nerdy question about your drums. So did it look like, have you scaled down your kit quite a bit? I mean, are you like on a 4-piece now? Do you have kind of one tom up, or
1 tom up, 2 on the floor?
Oh, that's cool.
So I kind of did that because I didn't want to have the same configuration that I did with other bands.
Yeah.
So, and it just forced me to play a little bit different too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
do you like it? Is it kind of fun just to kind of reimagine your kit that way with the?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. less stuff I have to go to, but that's okay. You know, I mean, you know, keep it simple kind of thing. You know, I don't mind doing that.
And it seems so on the floor, on the two on the floor, because I didn't even notice it on the song that we listened to. Is that Phoenix?
Yeah.
Like that must be fun to kind of do some of the kind of syncopated pounding thing when you got the two on the floor, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep. Goes right over to those two.
You mentioned, you know, you're always big on kind of the splash flourishes and all that kind of stuff. Did you take away a lot of the cymbals too?
Yep. I got a China cymbal, and the rest are all crashes, pretty much just different sounding crashes. But that's it. I don't have any. I don't have any of the EFX cymbals and the splash cymbals. I don't have any of that on the kit right now. I mean, we'll see when we go record this new stuff. I mean, if it needs it, I'll throw it in. You know, I'll live with what I got.
Nice.
Dope. Yeah, it sounds great, man. I mean, everyone really responded favorably. Everyone go check out Lydia's Castle, man. Lots of I probably heard like 4 songs, and I really like them all. Really good stuff.
Thank you, fellas. It was real good hanging with you too.
You too.
Here, I'm gonna play one more before we wrap up. I got another one loading here. So
sure.
Get one more Lydia's Castle track in, and then we'll call it a day.
Yeah,
what does that sound? Let's see if this one actually cooperates. The internet seems like it's.
Wait, which one are you playing?
What do you want me to play? I have Falling Into Place.
Falling Into Place.
That's the one I'm loading up right now.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Good.
Yes. This one's pretty heavy hitter.
heaviest rope.
Little Pantera influence there.
Oh yeah. Nice. Hell yeah.
Thanks, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. It goes from that like that's a cool little. There's a little Rush vibe in that chorus. It's all just cool shit.
Yeah, thank you.
A little bit of that Danny Carey in the other one. A little bit of that Neil Peart in this one.
A little Vinnie Paul.
We've talked on here before. It's kind of in time. I think you've talked about how just like bands sound different when different people play, you know, and the drums in particular, maybe, or I guess probably any instrument, but like it doesn't matter who's recording drums or who's producing a song. Like it sounds like Jon's playing. I mean, it just does.
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds.
Thanks, man.
Great. Yeah.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that, Jared.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey man, you guys are both super influential drummers, man. I mean, again, it's so funny. Like since Jared came back into the band and we've been doing all this stuff, and I kind of run the social media, seeing all the people talking about how Jared was the reason they started playing drums, and I know it's the same way with you, Jon. Like there's that generation of kids that grew up on Staind and Taproot and Korn, and
if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, why not? That's true. Hey, right? Why not?
Awesome, gentlemen.
All right, man. Hey, guys.
This is great,
thanks
man.
So much. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I wish you guys the best. We'll see you guys hopefully soon, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. All the same. Wish you all the best. Tanya, thanks for joining us too. Your voice is killer. Can't wait to listen to more.
Yeah, we'll get you on here someday. And
it's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, same. Thank you, guys. Tom, I'll talk to you soon, brother.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care.